Sup? Moe! Welcome to another video. Today we're talking about No More Heroes. I didn't play the original one when it came out on the Nintendo Wii. However, I got the remaster on the Switch and, well, I went through it last week and I had a blast with it. I had a great time. Really awesome game. I knew already about this series before because I did play No More Heroes 2 on the Wii. This is something that I'm going to save for another video though. There's a little story about that, and I did love it at the time. I didn't manage to get the original game because the original game was already going for a good price at the time, the first game I mean. And when I learned that the remasters were coming out, I was really happy. I was a bit sad at the time that the remasters were only in digital copy, on the eShop, and not in physical copies. However, Limited Run came out with these, the No More Heroes physical releases of the game, and I'm quite happy to be able to own one. The only downside about this is that I bought it in January, February. I'm not sure when it was the purchase, but I bought it around that time, pre-order it. It arrived 2 weeks ago. We are in July, but it's all worth it. Let's go a bit through this because the game not only comes with, of course, the cartridge. Would be a physical copy without it. I was looking at the camera. I should be looking at there. I have to look at there. You're there. This trading card, which I don't know if it's possible to collect, but it's alright. And I think it's the best thing about it is this. A really awesome instruction booklet, which you can't see because it's all white, but it's really cool. So yeah, and considering that this is a dying breed, doesn't exist anymore, I'm really happy that I managed to nail this. Also, the inside the box comes with whoops, lights, a map of Santa Destroy. So yeah, it's better than the physical copies of Final Fantasy IX or Final Fantasy 7 and 8, which are white inside. Again, another video I might talk about those games. Really awesome games from my I wouldn't say childhood, but from when I was growing up, from my adolescence. Anyhow, today we're talking about No More Heroes, and No More Heroes is a really great game in my opinion, of course. And it's a story about Travis Touchdown, the main character, which, as you saw in the intro earlier, is a bit of a horny dude. He's also a bit of a douchebag who loves to assassinate people, like it's his thing. He's an assassin, and who gets also groomed by another character called Sylvia from the United Assassins Association, and keeps teasing him to keep on going with his assassinations until he gets to the top. And that's the whole premise of the game. That's all there is to it. You are top 10 or top 11 at the beginning of the game, and you have to get to the first place. You have a bit like Shadow of the Colossus, you know. You have these 10 bosses, these 10 assassins you need to defeat, you need to kill. And once you're done that, you're done with the game. That's the whole premise of it. Of course, there are layers to this onion, and you need to fight a whole bunch of goons on your way to the assassin itself. You have to do a bunch of mini games in order to get money, to be able to upgrade and get stronger, and that's the whole meta of the game. The game is very simple but very direct. The story itself, it mixes silliness with a lot of violence and sometimes some dark matters. There's a cutscene in the game. Small spoiler. I'm not gonna say the contents or the character, but there's a cutscene in the game that is the themes that they talk about in that cutscene are a bit hard, heavy. However, the game doesn't really show you the cutscene. They show you the cutscene, but they speed it up to a speed that you can't watch. This is all made on purpose in the game, and they nod to it. The characters actually speak about it, so it's not like oh, it's got censored. No, it's part of the game. In my opinion, it's actually very well done. And in my opinion, I think it's even better than actually watching the proper cutscene. Which, if you slow down the footage, you can actually see and hear what the cutscene is about. It's more about the dialogue. There's nothing in the visual side of the stuff that is disturbing. Anyhow, other than blood, there's a lot of blood throughout the entire game. So by the point you get to this cutscene, you'll be desensitized to that. Don't worry. With that being said, we're also talking about the game where whenever you have to save the game, you are taking a poop. So that's it. The guy goes to the toilet and he poops. Right after that, you'll be cutting ads and slicing people in half with loads and loads of blood everywhere, splashing everywhere. So that's it. There's also a cat. You pet the cat. You feed the cat. For no reason. There's no reward for doing that other than it's a cat. And you'll do it every time. Every single time you see the cat, you're gonna do that. And you're doing it because it's a cat. I used to have a cat. The gameplay loop is quite simple. You kill the assassin, kill the boss assassin. You go back to your apartment. From your apartment, you go to the street. You get on your motorbike. You go around the city doing some quests on the. You go to the job you go do some jobs that are basically mini games. They give you money. You use that money to improve your katana or buy a new one. You use that money also to go to the gym and improve on your statistics, become stronger, have more health, and you also use that money to pay for the next challenge. You can also, to earn money, you can also do some challenges in the city, which sometimes requires some specific antics. For example, killing a whole bunch of enemies using wrestling moves, killing 100 people, basically killing, but in different ways. The jobs go from cleaning streets to picking up coconuts to grabbing scorpions, taking away scorpions without getting poisoned. Those are the kinds of jobs you are doing in Santa Destroy. And that's about it. After that, you have the money. After you get enough money, you go deposit the money, and the next challenge, the next assassin, is unlocked, and you go and go fight him. You go fight his goons and fight his or her goons and do your thing, right? You attack using the Joy-Cons or by using the face buttons. You slice from up, or to slice from up, you slice from the side, to slice from the side. That's it with the Joy-Con. It's not very. It was one. I remember when it came out. It was one of those games that was yeah, we have to use the Wiimote to play. You can only use the Wiimote to play. There was no other way to play the game, and but it was quite possible to play the game with it with no issues whatsoever, because the movements are quite simple: up, down, up, down, and basically that's it. Or side to side, and yeah, that's it. That's all there is to it. You need to adapt depending on the enemy, because some enemies defend attacks coming from above, some enemies defend attacks coming from the side, some enemies are dynamic. That's basically it. There's always hordes of enemies. Whenever you kill many enemies, there's like this. There are like power-ups that happen during the fight, which you can use to do more damage, or do more kill enemies in one sitting, or killing multiple enemies with one slash. That's the gist of it. It's very if you are using the controller, it's very button mashy, but it's also you have to be very aware of when to defend, where to block, and when to attack. So the game is not that easy. Some people even say that the game can be hard at times. I had no major issues with it in the normal difficulty mode, which is the highest one you have unlocked when you start the game. But I can see some people having issues with some fights. You also have charge attacks, which you basically charge by holding the attack button. And you have wrestling combos, which you can use by dazing the opponent, and then using a combo of face buttons to unleash them. Quite fun, quite nice, quite intuitive at times even. With that being said, I think the game holded up really well, even with the remaster. It held up quite well, in my opinion. It still has that PlayStation 2 aspect to it, like that look to it, you know. You look at the city, it reminds you of GTA 3, you know. I remember that when it came out, it was the game was praised a lot by the cel shading, and I do think it was a really good choice to go with cel shading, because that helped the game age better. We all look at Wind Waker, for example, and we know that this game could come out now in 4K, and it would still look like a recent game. Cel shading works wonders for this game in this case as well. Not as well as Wind Waker, but I mean, Wind Waker is kind of a masterpiece when it comes to that. But I think it looks really good. The city, like I said, it kind of reminds me of GTA 3. I'm not even talking about San Andreas, I'm talking about GTA 3, the first foray to 3D of GTA. That's what the city reminds me of. A bit barren, some cars here and there, no textures whatsoever anywhere. There's some, but it's very basic. But it still does the job right. I remember the game being praised for the cel shading at the time. I remember the magazines talking about that. That's one of the things that made me really interested in the game, was reading the game's magazines about that. Remember the press? Remember when that was a thing, buying a magazine every month? Sometimes they even brought games. Good old times. Anyhow, I suggest everybody to check out No More Heroes, unless you are not really you really don't enjoy a lot of blood, because the game is quite fun. And all the enemies, I won't say all of them, but most of the assassins are fleshed out to a certain degree. I mean, they are what they are. They are there to be killed. And there's a lot of fun to have with the game. There's a lot of fun equips in the game, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy it if you enjoy some dark humor and some bloody action. And so this gets my seal of approval. If you want to check more reviews, feel free to... why do I call these reviews? I don't consider these reviews, by the way. This is just my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm the guy that doesn't really love Resident Evil 4, and I don't really like Final Fantasy X, so take my opinion with a huge grain of salt. So feel free to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave a like. Feel free to comment. Feel free to tell me that my tastes are shit. It's okay. Alright. Thank you for taking your time, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.